The air is thick, humid, and heavy with the scent of dew and distant pine. The pre-dawn light bleeds an uneasy, bruised purple over the horizon. I am awake before the sun, as always. But this morning, a raw, primal tension is stitched into the silence. I stand on the porch, a chipped ceramic mug warming my hands. The expansive, dew-soaked property stretches out below me. I don't just own this land, I am woven into its very fiber. My eyes fall on the gate, 100 yards out, leading to the dense, low-lying wetlands. That area always feels ancient. A low, guttural growl ruptures the stillness. It's a sound I know intimately. Not a playful bark, but a profound, resonant vibration of alarm. It belongs to Kaiser, my German shepherd. A guardian. He is stationary near the main path, his silhouette rigid, low to the ground, a marble statue of focus. Beside him, closer to the edge of the tall, damp grasses, is Copper, my Brown Labrador. He is a dog of boundless, clumsy joy, but now he is something else entirely, a low-slung, coiling spring of muscle. His whole body trembles, a silent declaration of immediate peril. They are focused on a spot near a cluster of old, moss-covered rocks. The air between the dogs and that spot vibrates. I don't move. I don't call their names. I watch. I listen. My breath catches, a painful lump in my throat. The tall grass rustles, a dry, insidious sound that seems too loud in the morning quiet. A flash of movement. Not a deer. Not a raccoon. Something vast. Something silent. It's the sheer diameter of the thing that hits me first. A coil of muscle, thick as a man's thigh, dark scales glistening with the morning moisture. It emerges from the undergrowth like slow-moving, living shadow. A python. Huge. Lethal. Copper, without a sound, drops his head, his teeth flashing in a silent snarl. He takes a single, calculated step forward. The Labrador is a creature of water and retrieval, not combat. Yet, here he is, facing down a serpentine horror. Kaiser, the shepherd, remains rigid. He understands strategy. He is the anchor. The snake moves with a fluid, terrifying grace, its head rising, a diamond-shaped threat, testing the air. It's not looking at me. It is looking at the warmth, the life, the soft, vulnerable points of my dogs. A split second stretches into eternity. The python lunges, a horrifying, lightning-fast strike. And Copper, the big brown Labrador, lunges in return, not at the head, but at the bulky middle, a desperate, flawed calculation of defense. The world explodes into a flurry of muscle, fur, and heavy, crushing coils. I'm putting you right in the middle of this chaos. But before we see what happens, please take a moment to subscribe. It's the only way to not miss the next intense encounter on the farm. And tell me down in the comments, what city are you watching from? I need to know you're with me. The scene is a blur of frantic survival. The world has narrowed to a small circle of violence and desperation. The python missed a clean strike on Coppa's head, but its heavy, muscular body slams into the Labrador's side. Copper is knocked off his feet, his surprised yelping a raw sound of shock and pain. The snake is faster, more overwhelming than I could have imagined. Its coils, already tightening, seek to wrap and constrict. My feet are moving now, adrenaline scorching my veins. I drop the useless mug. It shatters silently in the wet grass. The distance feels like a mile. Kaiser, the German shepherd, breaks his rigid stance. This is not a dogfight, this is a siege. He circles, his deep-chested growl morphing into a series of short, sharp, strategic barks. He's drawing the python's focus, trying to pull the immense, crushing pressure away from his friend. The snake's head snaps toward Kaiser, momentarily distracted from its task of suffocating Copper. It works. The python's main coil shifts, releasing the worst of its grip on the brown Labrador, seeking to anchor itself for a new, larger target. Copper gasps, pulling in air, scrabbling for purchase on the slippery ground. He is stunned, but not defeated. His eyes, usually gentle and goofy, are now wild, predatory gold. The python, having anchored its tail around the thick trunk of a small oak, begins to drive its body forward, a living bulldozer aimed at Kaiser. The size is horrifying. It is pure, unrelenting, silent killing force. Kaiser knows better than to engage the coils. He darts in a dark, swift shadow, snapping at the base of the python's neck, a quick, painful strike meant to disorient, not kill. The snake whips its head back, its jaws opening wider than seems possible, a dark, wet abyss. I'm running, searching desperately for a tool, a discarded fence post, a heavy stone, anything that can equalize this impossible fight. My hands close around the cold, slick wood of a fallen branch, heavy and solid enough to be a club. Copper, recovered, returns the attack. He doesn't leap blindly. He uses his weight, charging low into the exposed, shifting coils as the snake is distracted by Kaiser. He aims to unbalance the creature, to break its anchor. The python reacts with a terrifying speed. It ignores Kappa's body check and instead, one massive loop snaps out like a steel cable, lashing out and catching the shepherd's back leg. Kaiser is yanked off his feet with a painful howl. The loop tightens instantly. This time, the grip is secure. The snake's focus is complete. Kaiser is the larger threat, the one with the teeth and the mind for strategy. He is being crushed. I see the pure panic in his eyes, the heavy breathing turning ragged, his ribs taking the strain. I'm close now, maybe 20 feet. Too far for a clean strike with the branch. Copper is a frenzy of desperation. He grips a section of the python's tail, shaking his head violently, trying to pull the massive snake backward, but it's like trying to move a living, rooted machine. The python ignores the Labrador's desperate, furious chewing on its tail. Its entire will is dedicated to the slow, relentless application of pressure on the shepherd's lungs. Kaiser lets out a strained, strangled cry, a sound of pain and imminent defeat that is far worse than any simple bark. It cuts through the fog of my terror. And then a break. The German shepherd, even under that monstrous pressure, finds a desperate, single moment of clarity. His eyes lock on mine. The pressure makes his movements look agonizingly slow, but he manages to do it. He doesn't waste breath on a howl or a snarl. He uses his final, focused energy for one, powerful, unmistakable, directed action. Kaiser barks, a series of 3 rapid, sharp, perfectly pitched, human-directed calls. He's not barking at the snake. He's calling to me. Kaiser's directed signal, a pure, desperate communication of location and extreme need, jolts me out of the blinding panic. I am not a spectator. I am the culmination of their strategy. I am 10 feet away. The python's focus is absolute, its beautiful, horrifying pattern of scales stretched tight over Kaiser's body. Its tail is still anchored, its head held high, watchful, but its killing coils are engaged. I hear the crackling of air leaving Kaiser's lungs. There is no more time for aiming. No time for a clean surgical blow. I charge. A full tilt, primal scream rips from my throat. It is the sound of pure rage, of ownership, of a farmer protecting his own. The python feels the tremor of my running, hears the raw, unnatural sound of the human scream. Its head begins to turn, slowly, majestically, the lethal triangle pivoting towards the new threat. But it's too late for a full re-engagement. I don't swing the heavy branch. I don't try to find the spine or the head. The coils are too tight, the risk of hitting Kaiser too high. Instead, I use the element of surprise and the physics of the python's anchor. I slam the heavy, jagged end of the branch not onto the snake, but into the ground, right at the point where the python's tail is anchored and cinched around the oak tree. Crack! The ground absorbs the shock. The branch acts like a lever, creating an agonizing, sudden twist right at the snake's foundation. The python whips its head back with a soundless, violent frustration. The anchoring point is momentarily compromised. The strain on the coils around Kaiser eases, not releases, but loosens enough for a breath. That fractional space is all they need. Copper, the brown Labrador, sees the break. With a ferocious, low growl, he releases the tail and drives his jaws deep into the loose coil nearest the ground, just behind the anchor point. Not biting to kill, but biting to hold. Biting to rip the snake's footing away. The python, in a move of pure self-preservation, unwinds its primary coil, just enough to defend its lower body. Kaiser, free of the immediate crushing pressure, doesn't hesitate. The shepherd pushes his back legs, driving himself backward out of the remaining loops with a desperate, scraping effort. He collapses a foot away, gasping, sucking in deep, life-giving air, his ribs heaving. The snake, unbalanced, is fully exposed. Its head is up, poised deadly. I raise the branch, my hands slick with sweat and dew. The creature is magnificent and terrifying, a prehistoric engine of death. But it is threatening my family. I bring the branch down. Not a slam. A series of rapid, devastating, controlled blows to the snake's mid-body, hitting with the full weight of my terror and my rage. Thwack! 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 The snake thrashes violently, a stunning explosion of power that throws up dirt and grass. Copper leaps back just in time. The thick coils strike the ground where Kaiser just lay. The third blow lands solidly. The massive body goes rigid, then relaxes with a sickening, final heaviness. The immense creature lies still. Silence rushes back in, a deafening contrast to the chaos. The first, pure rays of orange sunlight break over the ridge, painting the scene in a brutal, golden clarity. I drop the branch. It hits the ground with a soft thud. I stumble toward Kaiser. He meets me halfway. He pushes his head into my trembling hand, a heavy, solid weight of relief. His breathing is still harsh, but his tail gives one weak, thankful thump against the damp soil. Copper, the Labrador, trots over, giving the python's still, glistening body a wide, respectful berth. He nudges Kaiser's neck with his wet nose, a soft, brown-eyed checkup. I sink to my knees in the wet grass, pulling both of them into me, my arms wrapped around the warm, life-affirming weight of fur and muscle. They are safe. They worked as one. The shepherd called the farmer. The Labrador held the line. I look at the massive, silent python, a stark reminder that out here, in the beautiful, brutal heart of the land, there are no guarantees. Only vigilance, instinct, and a bond that is stronger than any coil. I breathe deep, the scent of pine and humid earth filling my lungs. I watch the sun rise fully over the world, a new, hard-won day. My hand rests on the strong, shuddering shoulder of the German shepherd, my other buried deep in the soft, brown fur of the Labrador. We are all alive, and we are all changed.